Some stories remind us that life is not just about surviving, but about overcoming. Sometimes, it's not people, but animals, that teach us the most powerful lessons about resilience and hope. One of the greatest of those stories belongs to a little dolphin who refused to give up. Her name was Winter. It was December of 2005, off the coast of Florida. The morning sun painted the ocean gold. A fisherman pulled up his crab traps, expecting the usual catch. But this time, what he found would change the world. Inside the trap, tangled in ropes, was a baby dolphin. She was small, fragile, and far too young to be on her own. The ropes had wrapped tightly around her tail, cutting off circulation. Her eyes dark, wide, filled with both fear and a plea for help met the fisherman's single quotes s. In that moment, he knew he wasn't pulling up dinner. He was pulling up destiny. The fisherman called for help. Soon, a rescue team of marine biologists arrived. They carefully lifted the little dolphin onto a boat. She was cold, her body weak, and her tail turning black from the damage. But even then, there was a spark in her eyes, a will to live. They named her Winter, after the season that nearly took her life, but also the season that gave her a second chance. Winter was rushed to Clearwater Marine Aquarium, a sanctuary for injured marine animals. The staff worked around the clock. At first, Winter couldn't swim, couldn't eat, couldn't even stay afloat. They wrapped her in flotation devices, fed her by hand, and whispered encouragement. Everyone wondered, could a baby dolphin without her mother, and soon, without her tail, even survive? Despite their best efforts, Winter's tail was too damaged to save. Slowly, the dead tissue was removed, until finally, the inevitable decision came. Her tail had to be amputated. For a dolphin, the tail is everything: movement, balance, survival. Without it, life seemed impossible, and yet, Winter tried. She began to swim, not side to side like other dolphins, but up and down, like a snake wriggling through the water. Awkward, strange, but alive. Winter's new way of swimming was exhausting. Every lap around the pool drained her energy. Doctors feared her spine would twist beyond repair. But day after day, Winter fought. She refused to give in. Weak, tired, but determined, her every move whispered, "I want to live." News spread of the tailless dolphin fighting for her life. Visitors came from everywhere. And soon, something incredible happened. Children with prosthetic legs and arms began visiting her. They saw themselves in Winter. A little girl pressed her prosthetic hand against the glass. Winter swam up, nuzzled the glass back, as if to say, "You and I, we're the same." Winter had become more than a dolphin. She was hope itself. Doctors and engineers asked themselves the impossible: what if we built her a new tail? Months of trial and error followed. Prototype after prototype failed. Winter resisted wearing them. Some slipped off, some caused pain. But the team refused to give up. They created a special gel liner to protect her sensitive skin, and then, one day, it worked. Winter wore her new prosthetic tail. She swam again, truly swam, like the dolphin she was meant to be. The staff cried. The world cheered. Winter became an international symbol of resilience. Documentaries were filmed, books were written, and Hollywood told her story in the movie Dolphin Tale, inspiring millions across the globe. Audiences didn't just see a dolphin. They saw themselves, their pain, their struggles, and their ability to rise again. In November 2021, after 16 years of inspiring the world, Winter passed away due to an intestinal illness. The news broke hearts across the planet. Thousands of letters, flowers, and prayers poured into Clearwater. People wept not just for a dolphin, but for a friend, a hero, a reminder that life is worth fighting for. Her body was gone, but her legacy, her courage lives on. Winter's story tells us something simple but profound. When faced with loss, you have two choices: give up or rise up and redefine what's possible. Winter chose the second, and in doing so, she became more than a dolphin. She became a legend,